I guess now is a formal introduction to this channel. My name is Jordan, and I am a self-proclaimed novice at a good number of things, but novice nonetheless. So more than likely, I'll be focusing on my 2007 C6 Corvette with Z51 package. Car is largely stock, aftermarket rotors and MGW shifter. Other than that, everything on it is stock. Playing in the world of HPDE with NASA. VIR is my home track. And looking to be able to shave off lap times as I go. The only maintenance that I've really done on the car is really just fresh fluids. And then starting to replace worn out things. Roughly 60,000 miles on the car. Lived its life in Arizona and New Mexico and Texas. So the sun's not been very kind to it. But this is kind of where we are. It's not required for the class that I run in. It's not required, but it is recommended for being anytime on track. Tow hooks, so in the event that you become a lawnmower, there's a safe way to be able to recover your vehicle with minimal damage to the vehicle. I was fortunate enough to be able to use quick jacks for the first time this year, as opposed to being on jacks and jack stands like for other vehicles in younger parts of my life. But now that I do own the house, I felt comfortable buying additional stuff to make my life a little bit easier. For the Corvette side of things, my floor is a little bit uneven. So getting the front up in the air just a tad bit makes getting the quick jacks underneath it that much easier instead of having to rock them to be able to get the jack underneath. Other than that, the car is largely stock. I did put some additional pedal covers on just to make heel toe a little bit simpler. Still working on that. I do notice that the factory pedals with their pedal covers, any amount of wet weather makes them quite slippery, so that was more of a necessity for street driving and just normal car ownership than for track side of things. I'm definitely skill limited still. Ignore the tire pump and rag in the car. Being that it's starting to get a little bit colder, I'll use that to reinflate the tires. The interior, aside from the shifter, largely stock. I did put an aftermarket head unit with CarPlay in it, just because when I first got the car, knowing how close you were when backing up was something that I had no idea on. So I just thought I'd give myself a little bit of an aid on that. One of the things that I don't like, as you just heard, was if you get too far away from the car, my car will automatically lock itself if the key fob is too far away. Not the end of the world, but it does make for the annoying horn chimes. Bone Factory LS2 6-liter aluminum engine. Intake stock. Everything on the car is mechanically stock as far as powertrain. I do generally keep the car on a battery tender. I've noticed that after 2.5 to 3 weeks, battery will just die. So it is. Do have the pump and remote for the quick jacks up on the front of the garage. I would love to end up getting stuff switched around, adding an outlet on that back corner, and allowing the quick jacks to be used in the different orientation. So now, the way the quick jacks are, everything will pivot from the front onto the back side of things So I would need to pull the car further forward so that when it is at full height, I can still close my garage door. As opposed to if everything was flipped around the other way, I could basically get the car inch from the garage door when closed on the ground, and then as I lift the car, everything would be lifting towards the front and shifting. That way there would be more room for my wife and I to walk around the front while taking out trash or any other items, as well as being able to free up some of the space up in the front of the garage. Sometime in the coming future, we will be adding just a garage fridge / freezer out here, mainly for beverages, freeing up space from the inside. So that would likely go here with the existing power. I do want to add a handful of extra outlets. So I would want to add one on this wall. I'd like to add a second one on this. This is where previous owner left that one outlet. And do have one up for the garage door opener that the previous owner ran the drop cord down. Regardless, additional outlets is never a bad thing, whether it's for chargers or for just using general items.